Hello everybody, my name is Nardeen Faragalla and I'm a health coach. In the last video, I talked about the idea that habits can be the bridge between who you want to be and who you are, and how that helps to get inner motivation in creating the person that you want to be through these actions that you're taking, which we're calling habits. The next thing that people think they need after motivation is actually willpower, and that tends to stand in people's way a lot, because willpower is obviously limited, and a lot of times willpower actually only works for the things that you want to do, and that's not really helpful because it's way harder to do the things that you don't want to do. So the good news today is that in order to form lasting habits, you actually don't need that much willpower. This is what I mean by that. In the last video, I talked a little bit about the accepted definition of what habits are. A habit is an unconscious action that at one point was conscious, repeated over time, and now it's unconscious. So there's something called the habit loop, and a lot of people will use different language for the 3 or 4, depending on who you read, parts of a habit. But essentially a habit is you need a reminder of it, you need to actually do the habit, and then you get a reward for whatever it is that you're doing. So today we're just going to focus on the reminder part, because that is the key to not needing willpower at all. Now, the way the brain works is that you will receive reminders from things that you're not sometimes even paying attention to. So the best reminders will be a physical thing, a physical object in your physical space. So that if you want to develop a habit of becoming more hydrated, you put a glass of water next to your nightstand table, and then when you wake up and you see it, then you remember to drink it. It's that concept that you want to maximize on. And so if you refer back to what you thought about from the last video, something that you want to do that actually is going to start creating the person who you want to be, you think about that and think about what you could possibly put in your environment that's going to remind you to do this thing. This is really important that you do before it's time to do the habit. The reminder already has to be there so that when your mind unconsciously sees it, you can then commence whatever habit that you want to do. A little kind of caveat for COVID-19 time is that because we're staying at home a lot, your physical environment is actually, you're exposed to it way more than normal. And so sometimes if your reminder is going to be the same exact thing in the same exact place, your brain is actually going to not see it in a few days. So try and keep the reminders fresh. The brain is really good with novelty. It really helps in developing these habits. And so every few days, maybe change the reminder. Another very good way to remind yourself is actually just to put a reminder on your phone, a notification on your phone. That will help you in commencing the habit, okay? So anything you can set up in your physical space or your mental space that will give you a reminder to do the habit that you want to establish. Last thing, if you saw my last video and you are wondering why in the world I would change this plant to a plant that potentially looks like it's dying, well, you're gonna have to tune into the next video where I will explain to you the story of this plant and what it has to do with habits. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.